For the longest time, we've been sold this idea that the key to a good life is to just be positive, chase happiness, and believe we're all meant for something great. But what if that whole approach is, well, what if it's actually making us miserable? Today, we're diving into Mark Manson's pretty radical idea for a better life. And it all starts not with chasing good feelings, but by choosing your pain.
I mean, you've seen this everywhere, right? On t-shirts, coffee mugs, all over your social media feeds. This whole good vibes only thing has become this massive cultural command to feel amazing all the time. But it's a trap, isn't it? It kind of suggests that if you're having a bad day, you're somehow failing at life.
And that constant pressure to be positive? Well, it leads us straight into our first big idea, the happiness trap. It's this bizarre paradox where the more you desperately chase feeling happy, the more you notice when you're not happy, which, of course, just makes you feel worse.
Manson has this perfect name for it, the feedback loop from hell. You know exactly what this feels like. You start to feel a little anxious, and then your brain goes, oh no, I'm anxious. Why am I anxious? I shouldn't be anxious. And suddenly you're anxious about being anxious. It's this crazy self-fueling spiral that's totally powered by that pressure to always feel good.
So how do you get out of that loop? Well, you have to take a sledgehammer to the myth it's built on. And that's the idea that happiness is this goal that we should be running after in the first place. We're all taught to think of happiness as a destination, right? Like, you work hard, you get the job, you find the partner, you buy the house, and boom, you've arrived. You're happy now. But we all know deep down, life it doesn't work like that.
And this is Manson's big insight. Happiness isn't a destination. It's not even a feeling you can just have. It's a side effect. It's what happens when you're actively engaged in solving problems that you find meaningful. Real, lasting satisfaction doesn't come from having no problems. It comes from having good problems. Problems you actually enjoy tackling.
So this leads to a question that just completely flips the script. Forget asking, what do I want to enjoy? The much more powerful, much more useful question is this one. What pain do you want to sustain? Because let's be real, everything you want in life has a price. It requires some kind of struggle.
Let's make this super simple. Say you want a fit, healthy body. That's the reward. Awesome. But the real question is, are you willing to embrace the struggle that comes with it? The sore muscles, waking up early to go to the gym, saying no to that extra slice of pizza. If you're not willing to want the pain, you don't actually want the reward. And that's huge. The quality of your life is really just the quality of the problems you're willing to solve. Okay, this brings us to the second giant myth we need to bust. And honestly, this one can be a tough pill to swallow. It's this cultural obsession we have with being special or extraordinary. But as we'll see, there is an incredible amount of freedom in just accepting that you might be, well, average.
I mean, we've heard it our whole lives. You're a unique snowflake. You're destined for greatness. It sounds encouraging, but there's a problem. If everybody is extraordinary, then nobody is. All this belief really does is set us up with these wildly unrealistic expectations and a constant feeling that we're not quite living up to our potential.
I mean, look, the reality is just a matter of statistics. It's a bell curve. The vast majority of pretty much everything in life, talent, success, looks, you name it, falls right in the big beefy middle. There are a few people at the very top and a few at the very bottom. But most of us, we're in the middle. And accepting that isn't failure. It's actually the starting line for doing something real.
Because when you insist on being special, you fall into what Manson calls the entitlement trap. It goes one of two ways. You either become the narcissist who thinks, I'm so amazing, the world owes me something, or you become the victim who thinks, I'm so uniquely broken, the world must be out to get me. Both are just two sides of the same coin, and they both keep you stuck. All right, this all builds up to what is, maybe, the single most empowering idea in this whole philosophy. And it's all about understanding the crucial difference between fault and responsibility.
The analogy he uses for this is just perfect. Imagine a baby is left on your doorstep. Is it your fault? Absolutely not. 100% not your fault. But it is now your responsibility, right? You have to choose what to do next. Life is exactly like that. Awful things will happen to you that are not your fault, but it is always your responsibility to choose how you respond.
And right there, that's where you find all your power. You can't control the hand you're dealt, but you can always control how you play it. This is the big shift, you know? It's moving from being a passenger in your own life to getting in the driver's seat.
So this brings us to our final section, the part that ties it all together. It's about using the ultimate reality check to just cut through all the noise and figure out what actually matters.
Okay, so this is blunt. I get it. It sounds really dark, maybe even depressing. But stick with me here.
Manson argues this is actually the most liberating and important thought you can possibly have.
Because think about it. When you really truly sit with the fact that your time is limited, all the small, stupid stuff just melts away. The fear of what people think, the anger over some minor inconvenience, the need to be right all the time, it all seems so trivial. Confronting your own mortality is like the ultimate filter. It forces you to ask, with the limited time I have, is this what I want to care about?
And that right there is the subtle art. It's not about not giving a hoot about everything. It's the exact opposite. It's about being incredibly selective about what you choose to care about. It's about choosing your values, choosing your problems, and choosing your struggles with intention. So I'll leave you with the one question that pulls this all together. Knowing that your time here is finite, what pain are you willing to embrace? What will you struggle for?